Oscars trivia: Jamie Lee Curtis is a second-generation nominee, while John Williams breaks a record. It's the ideal moment to look at fascinating facts, trivia, and tidbits for both this year and historically, as the Academy Awards are just 1 month away. 91-year-old John Williams received his 53rd Oscar nomination for composing the score for Steven Spielberg's biopic The Fabelmans. For Spielberg movies, he has won 3 of his 5 Oscars. His 1967 film Valley of the Dolls received his first Oscar nomination for Best Music, while his 1971 film Fiddler in the Roof earned him his first Oscar victory for Best Music. What first movie did he score? 2. The long-forgotten 1958 Daddy-O by AIP. Williams is the only other person with more nominations than Walt Disney. He garnered a phenomenal 59 bids, 26 Oscar nominations, 22 of which were competitive, during the course of his more than 40-year cinematic career. He received an honorary Oscar for creating Mickey Mouse at the 5th Academy Awards, and Flowers and Trees, the first film to be commercially distributed in 3-strip Technicolor, won the Academy Award for Best Short Subject. At the 25th Academy Awards, he won 5 prestigious Oscars for Best Short Subject for Water Birds, Best Short Subject for Toot, Whistle, Plunk, and Boom, Best Short Subject for Beat Country, and Best Documentary for The Living Desert. In addition, he received a posthumous Oscar for Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day at the 48th Academy Awards. Everyone's Family. For Everything Everywhere All at Once, Jamie Lee Curtis receives her first Oscar nomination in the category of Supporting Actress. Her mother Janet Leigh received a Supporting Actress nomination for Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 film Psycho, in which she played Marion Crane, who makes a critical error when she takes a shower at the Bates Motel, and her father Tony Curtis received an Oscar nomination 64 years prior for The Defiant Ones. With Hamlet from 1948, Laurence Olivier became the first actor to win an Oscar as a director. However, he wasn't the first person to nominate themselves for an Oscar. 10 years earlier, with Anthony Asquith, Leslie Howard co-directed the movie Pygmalion, which received a nomination for Best Actor. In his long career, Charlie Chaplin received 2 honorary Oscars. He was given one for acting, writing, directing, and producing The Circus at the inaugural Academy Awards in 1929, and another for the incalculable effect he had making motion pictures the art form of the century during the ceremony in 1972. The next year, along with Raymond Rash and Larry Russell, he finally won a competitive Oscar for Best Original Dramatic Score for Limelight. In 1952, the movie received a brief release in the United States. However, Limelight was essentially prohibited for 20 years and didn't premiere in Los Angeles until 1972 as a result of Chaplin, who was politically liberal, becoming a target of the communist witch hunt, finally becoming eligible for an Oscar. Russell and Rash both received posthumous Oscar nominations. Rash passed away in 1964. Russell had died in 1954. Although several well-known singers, such as Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and Barbra Streisand, have won Oscars, you may not be aware that 3 opera icons have also been nominated. Baritone between 1923 and 1950, Lawrence Tibbett gave 600 performances at the Metropolitan Opera in New York. He also had a few film roles in the early 1930s. In 1930's The Rogue Song, which also starred Laurel and Hardy and was shot in 2-strip Technicolor, he received a nomination for Best Actor. Despite parts of the movie having been discovered over time and having a complete soundtrack, it is now regarded as a lost movie. His final motion picture was Otto Preminger's Under Your Spell, which was released in 1936 as the second film of double bills. In the 1930s film New Moon, Tibbett co-starred alongside opera singer Grace Moore. Before studying opera in France, Moore began her career in musical comedies in the 1920s. In 1928, she made her Met debut. She achieved success in the film industry in 1934, garnering a nomination for One Night of Love as Best Actress but lost to Claudette Colbert in It Happened One Night of Love. Louise, her last movie, came out in 1939. Additionally, Polish coloratura Mila Zakordzis, who played an opera singer in the 1938 film The Great Waltz, made one movie for MGM and was nominated for a Supporting Actress award. At the 24th Academy Awards, the Norwegian documentary Kon-Tiki, which follows renowned explorer and author Thor Heyerdahl's 1947 expedition, received the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature. Strangely, its rival wasn't a typical documentary, rather, it was the noir film I Was a Communist for the FBI, which was based on articles written by Matt Cvetic, a Pittsburgh steelworker who spent 9 years infiltrating a local communist cell. At the height of the McCarthy era, the movie, the follow-up book, and the radio series starring Dana Andrews were all released. According to the New York Times, this heated piece bears resemblance to the hearings before the House Un-American Activities Committee, which incidentally it extols. He continued, adding, is horrifying. At Gold Derby, place your bets right now. for the chance to compete against hordes of other fans as well as our experts and editors for the top prediction accuracy scores. Download our free and simple app for Apple, iPhone devices or Android. See our most recent prediction winners. Can you next dominate our prestigious leaderboards? Never forget to update your forecasts since they affect our current racing odds, which terrify Hollywood executives and celebrities. Avoid missing the fun. Join our renowned forums, where 5,000 industry leaders regularly lurk to keep up with the latest award news and air your huffy thoughts. Everyone is curious about your opinion. Who do you forecast and why?